adventure started at the Wilmore Wilderness Park at Rock Lake. We hiked down the mountain trail, which led us towards a junction at the Willow Creek Trail, which we took to head towards Jasper National Park and the actual North Boundary Trail. From the Rock Lake trailhead to the first camp at Willow Creek would be 14 kilometers on our first day of hiking. After crossing into Jasper National Park, the trail would transition from forests to willows and back again many times. Little did we know that willows would become a constant on the trail in the days to come. Not quite halfway into the day, we came across Rock Creek, which would turn out to be our one and only true river crossing of the trip.
Sure. All right, we decided to cross in this area here because it's short and doesn't look too deep. Boggy section, and despite our best efforts, our feet are now wet.
From here, there was only 2 kilometers left to the Willow Creek camp, and they were the easiest 2 kilometers all day.
Quiet. Far away, but that sign says Willow Creek 200 meters that way.
The sign also marked the junction for the North Boundary Trail. We finally reached the NBT.
Almost to Willow Creek.
When you first reach the Willow Creek camp, you come into the horse camp first. Pro tip: if there's nobody here, stay here instead of going off to the hiker camp. They have a picnic table and the green privies. If you choose to go onto the hiker camp, just cross the Willow Creek using this bridge, and then the camp is just off to the left.
All right, we've made it to camp, so now we just gotta find a place to set up our tents. found our home for the night. Night 1 at Willow Creek.
Give you a view of the hole under that log. That's where you go. I don't know if I use a log hole system. Kind of grown fond of digging cat holes. The Willow Creek Hiker Camp has a really nice bear hang, as well as a fairly decent fire pit area.
Good morning from day 2. We have just left the Willow Creek camp. We're gonna make our way to Little Heaven, which is just over 17 kilometers from here.
The first 7 kilometers would be on the NBT. The next 10 would be on the Glacier Pass Trail.
The trail has been super nice so far today. The trail itself is in good shape. Not a lot of obstacles. Only really had one big-ish climb. And for the most part, it's been pretty darn flat, so we'll take it.
The junction where we would leave the NBT and head up the Glacier Pass Trail towards the Little Heaven camp.
Little Heaven. 10 kilometers that way. You can tell already it's a little less traveled. So it's definitely a little more overgrown in here. There is a trail that we can see, so we just have to keep following it. But yeah, clearly not as used or taken care of, I guess, as the north boundary is, but we kind of expected that, so.
The Glacier Pass Trail had a lot more elevation gain in it than the NBT did, which wasn't a surprise because we had to set ourselves up for the McLaren Pass the next day.
We have come across another gate. Weird. I don't know. up this way. There's a little sign over there we can see. But if we wanted to go back to the Wilmore, we'd just keep going the way we were.
The Little Heaven Hiker Camp is really small and way out in the open. It's got beautiful views, so if the weather is good, take advantage and stay there. But if the weather is bad, take a trip down the trail to the horse camp. It offers a little bit more shelter, a beautiful fire pit area, and it's got one of the green privies.
Alright, good morning of day 3. We are all packed up and ready to go. Today we're going to head back to the Little Heaven Hiker Camp, and because that's where the McLaren Pass Trail is, and we're going to hit the pass today. So wish us luck. There's a reason they call this place Little Heaven. That is it, right there. So this was not here yesterday. This is brand new. Uh-oh. Alright, we're back at the Little Heaven Camp and we're gonna keep on passing by.
The McLaren Pass is about 12 kilometers from the Little Heaven campsite to where it connects to the Upper Blue Creek Trail on the other side of the pass.
Well, this has been what the trail's been like most of the time. It's pretty grassy, pretty game trail looking as opposed to trail. But
there is a trail.
There is a trail.
So you shouldn't get lost.
No.
We'll keep you posted.
Yes.
The McLaren Pass hasn't been suitable for horses in quite some time. It's pretty clear that only backpackers have been coming through here, as there's quite large sections of blowdowns that you have to navigate through. At some points, you couldn't even see where the trail was on the other side, and we had to do a little bit of route finding to find our way.
More bear poo. We predict this is day-old bear poo based on how solid it feels.
Because we're bear experts now, you know.
We are.
In the first part of the McLaren Pass, you follow the Deer Creek and you cross back and forth multiple times. Be prepared to have wet feet in this section.
Trail's gotten a little overgrown again.
At about the halfway mark, you finally break through the forest into a sea of willows. Making your way up the valley towards the pass, the views are stunning and incredibly special. Only a small handful of people per year even lay eyes on this area. It is wild and breathtaking.
So we're pretty sure our pass is between these two, like in that little notch there. We were way down there, and we followed that valley through the willows, up through here, and we're gonna go that way somewhere. It looks like we're just gonna follow the right side here through this little gorge. So this is what climbing a pass looks like. Peaks in front, peaks to the left. Frick, this is amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I gotta do a 360 for you guys. Because this is just incredible. After hitting the highest part of McLaren Pass, it is all downhill from here. Look at that!
Why do we not take any time?
Wow.
After the most stunning views ever, we started the 3-kilometer descent down towards the Upper Blue Creek Trail. This side of the pass is more overgrown. The trail weaves its way through thick willows, and it's hard to see in some places. We actually lost the trail a few times and had to bushwhack and roof find our way back onto it. It was a little unnerving, but also part of the adventure.
Officially completed McLaren Pass. We've gotten to the junction and now we're gonna do 4K to Blue Creek and set up camp.
There is no camp at the McLaren Junction on the Upper Blue Creek Trail. Your options are to go south 4 kilometers to Blue Creek Camp or north 8 kilometers to Ancient Wall Camp. Having had a big day already, we chose to go the 4K to Blue Creek.
There's something kind of comforting about being back on a horse trail, seeing hoof prints and horse poop. It's oddly comforting.
Blue Creek Camp is a horse and hiker camp in one. It has a great fire pit area, a really nice bear hang, and one of the green pit toilets. Nice. Only thing is, you gotta watch for the horse poo.
Good morning, day 4. It is 8:44 and we are on the move. Today we're going to Ancient Wall, which on the map says about a little over 11 kilometers. River crossing, first thing in the morning on day 4. How's it feel, Barb?
Not bad. Not as cold as I was expecting.
Oh, good.
Because we had chosen to go to Blue Creek the night before, the first 5K of today would be completely backtracking towards the McLaren Pass Junction. Beyond that point, it would be new.
The McLaren Pass Junction again already. It sure doesn't look like much of a trail from here. We're gonna head this way to the Ancient Wall today. So we're thinking we have about another 8 kilometers. But the map's been wrong most of the time, so I'm gonna add a couple K to that, so I'm expecting closer to 10. And I guess we'll see when we get there. We've got our first glimpse of the ancient wall up there. Wow. That's pretty. These mountains are they're just stunning. The colors in them are amazing. Views on both sides. I don't know where to look. Seriously. Views everywhere. Oh, folks, this is why it takes us all day to get to camp. Because every few feet is a new, beautiful view. It's just... This is such a great day. Behind us, it gets bigger and more beautiful. Wow, this is probably our best view so far. According to this sign, camp is 100 meters that way. Here's camp. It's small, but pretty, with amazing views.
Ancient Wall is a horse and hiker camp. Off to the left is a secluded little spot that's relatively poop-free. There's also a really great bear hang and one of the awesome green privies.
Good morning, day 5. It is cold this morning. All right, it is 9 a.m. and we are leaving Ancient Wall Camp on our way to Natural Arch, about 8 kilometers away. The sun is shining. It's warming up a bit, so I think it's going to be another beautiful day. All right, making our way over to the trail to get back on towards Natural Arch. This is the way to Natural Arch. So far the trail has been Willow's Field, mud hole. I repeat, Willow's Field, mud hole. Oh look, another mud hole.
The trail to Natural Arch continues to follow along Blue Creek through the massive valley between the Snake Indian Mountains and the ancient wall.
Mountain ranges are incredible. Like, this ancient wall has been going on for like well over 12 kilometers now. Like, that's crazy. It's just, the mountains are massive and just magnificent. No heads. I think we're good. I don't know if that's an appropriate way to tell, but that's what we're going with. That is probably coming to the end of the ancient wall. Still so pretty. If it weren't for this 18-inch path through here, man, you would have no idea where to go.
This section of the trail weaved its way through a massive field of willows. It seemed to go on forever. One section alone was 3 kilometers long. It definitely felt never-ending.
This is our view. You think you can make your way through this? It's been kilometers of this, and we're still not done. Oh my gosh. Natural Arch, 20 meters that way. Today's the day of the willow. The willows have dictated everything. And they're not letting us get to camp that easy.
The Natural Arch is another horse and hiker camp. It's pretty tiny, but it does have a wonderful fire pit area and a really nice pit toilet. It does not, however, have a bear hang that we could find.
Day 6. We are past the halfway mark. Today's trail, we're backtracking to Ancient Wall, and today's trail is, I would say, 90% willows. Go down here, straight into the willows for probably the next 3 hours.
From Natural Arch, we headed back to Ancient Wall. The entire day would be 100% backtracking. but the views would make it completely worth it.
First few steps out into the trail and we're already lost. We can't find the trail. The trail's gone this morning. We know it's here somewhere, but we can't find it. There's a trail right there. Like we were way off. So that's our trail, and a river is running through it. So yesterday we hugged this side, so we're going to do the same today to get around it, because we don't want to walk through that. We're surrounded. It's just as beautiful as it was yesterday. We head that way to the ancient wall camp.
We set our tents up in the same spot as the first time we stayed here and enjoyed a nice evening fire with company for the first time this trip. We even got to enjoy a beautiful sunset along the ancient wall. It was definitely worth staying here a second time.
Day 7. It is freezing cold here this morning at Ancient Wall. It's definitely below zero. Confirmed by the frost that's in the inside of my tent.
The ancient wall, while beautiful, turned out to be our 2 coldest nights on trail. There's just something about where it's situated that makes it a lot colder than everywhere else.
We have another fairly short day, about 13 kilometers to Blue Creek. It took us 6 hours to get there, from there to here. the other day, so we're expecting about the same. Maybe a little bit less going the other way because it's a little more downhill. Once we get through these willows here, we're going to be heading that way all day. Just gonna have that beautiful ancient wall to our left all day long. Alright, we made our way through the willows and the water bog. You can't actually follow the trail, it just goes straight to water. So we walked way over there to get around it. So heading back towards Blue Creek, there's a sign here that says McLaren Pass. This way, there's a sign there too. This is not McLaren Pass, at least not the trail.
The McLaren Pass Trail is only 5 kilometers from the Blue Creek camp. So from this direction, this sign is way too early. Just keep on going down the trail. As I mentioned earlier, the McLaren Pass Junction is only about 5 kilometers from Blue Creek Camp. This is it here. That is the trail up to McLaren Pass. Just before the Blue Creek Camp, you have to cross this little river. Sometimes it's a river, sometimes it's a rock hop, depending on the day you go. Once you arrive to camp, start setting up your tent. And then soak your feet. And then enjoy a fire.
So today is day 8, and today is a special day because it's Barb's longest trip today. Yay! Yay! All right, let's get a move on. It's 9:40 and we're ready to go. And we have, oh, who knows? Let's say 12 to 15K today, depending on map and GPS. And it's all new trail. It's super exciting. So we'll see what the day brings us. So I forgot to mention that we are back on the NBT, the North Boundary Trail. So we will be on the North Boundary Trail all the way out now. So far we found the NBT to be pretty cruisy, pretty flat and nice trail. So I'm not expecting anything really different for this section.
The plan for day 8 was to hike from Blue Creek to Wellborn, which was approximately 12 kilometers. But first, a little side trip to the Blue Creek Wardens cabin.
Look at the views from this cabin. Wow. Wow. Okay, how do we go about renting these and living here for the summer? Seriously.
After checking out the cabin and admiring the grounds and the beauty of this spot, we checked out the traveler registry and made our entries, and then it was time to get back to hiking.
and relatively straight. Still pretty cruisy. That's done.
I think it's a little bit safer.
Wow, like a pro. You know, all that West Coast trail training really kicked in right there. So we just stopped and had a quick lunch break. And it is about 1:30 now. And we looked at the map and we only have about maybe 2.5 kilometers left to the Wellborn camp, which we could potentially be there in the next hour if that's the case. So we are contemplating pushing through to Willow Creek tonight instead of staying at Wellborn. We've opened up into some views. This is our first look at the Snake Indian River. We're going to be following for a while and look at them mountains. Beautiful. You can see it. That's a wolf paw print. There's a good wolf track right there. That's a good one. To Wellborn Camp, and it was a beautiful spot, but it's only 2:30, so we had decided to keep going. We're gonna go all the way to Willow tonight. So we've already done 13K today. Took us 4.5 hours, so we have approximately the same kilometers to do to get to Willow. So we're expecting to get there around 6:37. Willow Creek, 13 kilometers. If that's true, we're looking at another 4.5 hours. And it's starting to spit, so I hope we don't regret this decision.
Shortly after leaving Wellborn camps, you come across the Wellborn Falls cutoff. It's less than half a kilometer off the trail, and it is totally worth going to see. This is a definite must-do detour.
It's pretty cool. Pretty beautiful. Junction. We have made a complete circle. That's kind of neat.
From this point, we would have about 7 kilometers left to the Willow camp, and it was all trail that we had done on our second day.
I think we're definitely on our last stretch here. I remember coming through here first thing on our second morning. So camp should be right through these trees, if I'm right. Oh yeah, baby. This is it.
When you get back into the trees, the hiker camp is just off to the right. This is where we stayed on our first night on trail. This time, however, we wanted to check out the horse camp, which is just across this creek and over the bridge. The The horse camp had a picnic table and a green privy. Full disclosure, regardless of which camp you choose, be prepared for mice. Unfortunately, Willow Creek has a bit of a mouse problem. The little buggers will think nothing of visiting you at your tent at night.
We have just completed our longest backpacking day on trail at 27 kilometers.
High five.
We're so proud of ourselves. That was a day. And how long did it take us?
8 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, so not our longest day on trail on this trip because that was 10 hours,
Yeah.
but our longest kilometers on trail. Pretty freaking awesome. Good morning. It's about 6:30 on day 9, our last day. It rained quite a bit of the night. Ground and hard, the ground is stopping. So I expect we'll have wet feet. And we are off. For the last 16 kilometers of this trip. A birdie wet. Well, this spot officially marks us leaving the MBT. Officially, it goes that way. We are going to follow the Willow Creek Trail that way. Back to Rock Lake. She's pretty muddy right now. We're officially saying goodbye to this beautiful area. It's a little bittersweet. Thoroughly have enjoyed being out here and would like to stay, but I'm also ready to go home because there is snow in those mountains over there. That is our cue to leave. Oh gosh. And now, it's not only mucky, but willowy. You know what that means? Double the fun. Yeah, snow lower than it was 9 days ago. Now I just gotta pick a spot. We're gonna start there. Come this way. We're gonna basically follow the shallowest parts. Come that way and then head over there. So. There's the park boundary sign. We've officially left Jasper. And we are back in the Wilmore. Well, we've been back in the Wilmore for about 5 minutes. I'd like to go back to Jasper. It's gotten significantly rockier and climbier since crossing that border. Whew. Oh, man.
This was the only downfall to our NBT through hike being turned into a in and out hike, was having to climb all the way back up to Rock Lake.
So as our hike is drawing to an end, in the 9 days that we've been out here, there, including Barb and I, there have been 8 human souls that we know of that have been on this trail. That's not very many people in that span. We were looking for a wilderness remote experience, and sure, it would have been cooler if we hadn't seen anyone. But to have only seen 6 other people total, that's still pretty remote and wild. And yeah, I'm just still so proud of us and in awe of what we've done here, and really, really thankful that we got to do this, and so proud of us. And yeah, I can't wait to continue to do this more and continue to explore these remote areas of our province and our country. So it's pretty awesome. We are back at the junction. This is Mountain Trail. Parking lot is that way. That is the end right there, folks. We've done it. Barb and I, we have hiked 144 kilometers in 9 days.
That is freaking awesome.
It's freaking awesome. Our last few steps. Hi, and we're done. Congrats. We did it. Woo!
In 9 days, we covered 144 kilometers of some of the most beautiful trail we could imagine. From Rock Lake, down the Willow Creek Trail, joining the North Boundary Trail, up the Glacier Pass, over McLaren Pass, up and down the Upper Blue Creek Trail along the Ancient Wall, and back out along the MBT. We made a really big but amazing loop, salvaging a canceled NBT through hike and turning it into something even more rewarding and spectacular. Thank you for following our journey with us. I hope this video has inspired you to want to visit this incredibly special area of Jasper National Park. And until the next one, happy trails!